Started the recording and now I'll start the live stream. And we'll get the sound. I think we're set there. Looks good. Okay. I think we're ready to go. Welcome everybody to another special presentation of the 68th Knowledge Seekers Workshop. It's been extended now into Tuesday, July 7th, 2015. And once again, we'll meet with Mr. Keshe of the Keshe Foundation. And we've been discovering all kinds of wonderful things in this extended workshop. And I expect today will be no different. Mr. Keshe, are you available and ready to go there?
Yes, good morning, good day to you as usual. And hopefully we manage to add to the knowledge a little bit more today. There's a very hot discussion going on between the two masters. We have to keep very quiet. I hope you don't mind. Today, as usual, is to do with health. In the morning, we do health. In the afternoon, I think we'll have the Chinese and we'll have the Spanish teaching and the medical. There is as we said, or if some of you don't know, today is a live online YouTube channel, the same. There is a specific reason for it. Two way is we're trying to bring some of the teaching directly online and being recorded and be taught again. And you will understand by the close of the business today why it's significant to have today's teaching online, like Thursday, Friday, yesterday, and today. In time when we come to it, we'll explain. The teaching of today is partially to follow the same thing as we've seen the energy production on the units which we have set up now is just about, if you can see it, is about 12 kilowatt hour, and we collected about 12.3 kilowatt hour. The further we are going into the energy consumption, the ratio increases. Now we are at 2 to 12, which is 6 times. This is one of the, you have to notice this is not watt, it's kilowatts. This is some people were asking questions. And the beauty with it is that now large number of people around the world are copying it. A large number of scientific organizations have started copying it in different versions, but hopefully by end of next week or the following week, we will have a commercial unit on the table to be tested. Within the next 10 days, we will have the units, hopefully, if we can get it done, by within 2 weeks from today, we should have a unit, both the can size and both the commercial unit that we do. There is a discussion at the moment on the internet, and we are aware of it, that this system needs to be certified, like a CE standard. We will apply for CE standard, but you have to understand nobody in CE, European community or worldwide, has any experience with the plasma this way. The only people who can certify this is actually the Keshe Foundation for what it does. Because there is no standard set for AC/DC supply and no standard in collecting energy from free plasma. So there is a dilemma. For this reason, we issue our own certificate, Keshe Foundation certificate. Anyone around the world who wants to come in, they come in. But meanwhile, we'll submit for a certification, and we know it'll be a commotion. We had this with the health section because they couldn't understand it. We're going to have the same thing. We are not waiting for the governments to find a certification. The proof of it is by the number of people around the world who apply it. What I would like to request from people who've seen the system, how easy it is, or you're replicating it, this is exactly what we wanted you to do. We didn't show it that then we can sell a unit from it. We sell the unit because we have a different agenda in power and energy supply and oil industry and space technology. This is a space technology which we have brought to be used like Teflon in every household. No one could certify Teflon when Teflon came in. By mass use of it, it got certified itself. It showed its work. This is how we're going to do. There is no way the structure can stop. We have started the process of the pre-production in Italy as of yesterday. Preliminary setup was set, that's why I was in here. And the same blueprint will go to China to Dr. Mr. Hoy, and the same blueprint goes to Keshe Foundation with Arman heading as director of the Keshe Foundation of USA. That we start producing in different locations. And if you want to produce and you're an organization, not an individual who's going to run around, we'll give you the blueprint freely. So we don't see no one as competition. We see it as a strength. This is a totally different approach in respect to any other technology up to now. Secrecy, patent protection, all has gone through the window. We openly give blueprints to companies, and within next 2 weeks, I hope, maybe a little bit shorter, longer, if things go the way we want it, we will show the flying system. I'm going on dates and time. So if we get it right, and you understand, we had a position with Vince yesterday with the system. I was told this morning by Marco that Dr. Antonio's system has fallen in the lab down and broken. It's fallen off his body's system. He changed the loading. As you see, this we know for a long time that you need time to build up the system energy and magnetic field. We saw this on Thursday to Friday. We were 1 to 2. Now we are 6, 1 to 6. In this technology, fields needs to build up to collect. It takes millions of years, billions of years for a star to be formed as it gathers energy from the environment of the galaxy. That's what you're doing. You're creating in this structure a galaxy. You're creating a sun. So you're bringing all the fields from all over the place into one area, in one section. So what you have done up to now, if you haven't understood, is that the star formation is your energy supply. This is how I walked you for past year and a half into this position. Making the GANs, understanding the plasma, going through the plasma, collecting the plasma in a formation, and releasing residual energy. Because at the matter state, if you grind, let's say, aluminum or copper and put in this cores, you will get nothing. You had to convert this energy to plasma. So we went through the process of learning how to make GANs, and then collecting the GANs, and then bringing the energy of the GANs into a center point, what you call a plasma. You have converted matter to a plasma rebound. So now this plasma itself, as it's gathering more and more energy from other cores and the environment around it, it gets to the point that it cannot hold on. So what it does, it starts spreading out. And what you do with the beads is now you have created a receiver with the beads to collect this free energy. That's all you've done. That is how the universe works. Fields come together, create a star. A star radiates its ray out, leads to creation of planets. And when the planets absorb energy, they become solid matter and become planetary system. So this is, if you haven't understood the principle, now you understand what it is. So we made a matter, we freed the matter in a nano layer, and then we freed it from the gas to become a star. And sorry about this, we are waiting for some calls that we have to accept. It's important today. So, yes. Voice drained all the energy. Yeah, we had the cameraman had to change the battery on his receiver end. Okay, so what happened? You created a matter into the NAS, into a star, and then you're collecting the star and what you see. So this should have not been strange to you. But now you have to go to the next step. To understand, replace this with the heart of a man as a unit, if I go correctly. And this is the soul of the man. No bounds. Heart is the physicality. So then if you understand this, you can do a lot of things which was not understood. Today is the health section. So you have to understand how the same system works. The base core is your lung and your heart. Thalamus on the top is your emotion, and that's where the soul sits. And if you look soul exact position, because of the strength of the thalamus in the brain, sits just under the brain, what we call the original brain. When the child is born, this is where the inception starts, where the life starts. And when this is created, when the two lungs and a heart of a child is completed, the soul of the man takes place. Before that, there is no soul. This is important because when it comes to space travel, you have to know how and where the soul is that you can communicate with. So you have the three base. That's why you have two lungs and a heart. Center field force is very, very close. Direct beam, thymus. That's where the soul of the man sits. Till the whole four are not completed, the body doesn't have a soul. The fetus is not a being, is a matter state. The minute the four come into operation and stabilize in field forces, that division of the information comes into effect, the way as you set the system and you evaluate, it goes up higher, higher.
Hello.
You get the
Hello.
of the soul, and that's where it is. This is what we do when we download souls. This is why there has been, and there is always a discussion, if it is the right time, 20 weeks to abort the child, the baby, 10 weeks is still not alive. For the world of science to understand when it's not is up to the point you have the four reactors, but the field doesn't come together to show its power. Then that's the time when the soul is created. That's the time the life becomes sacrosanct, and You cannot touch it. This is the point where you decide how you do. You fall in love with this as a heart, but you actually communicate with the soul. Physical interaction is irrelevant. This is why I keep on saying for years, and maybe for the first time you understand, bless you. You fall in love with your heart because through the heart you dictate the emotion because it's part of it, and you touch the soul of the man. You don't fall in love with a prostitute because it's a physicality. You fall in love with your wife, with what you love, because you accept the soul and you accept responsibility of the soul. That's why when you do something wrong, betraying your wife, your husband, the punishment doesn't come from here. The punishment comes from here, sending the physicality, then the physicality does its job. You crash a car, you turn over somewhere else, you break a leg, because it's time you've done wrong, boy, think again. But if you fall in love with the soul and you interact with the soul without physicality interaction, the soul stays perfect because will not steal, will not take. This is part of the attributes of the prophet of God and no more else. Because you fall in love with the creator through your soul, not your physicality. And the interaction is unconditional. You understand, it's a terminology in English. We say we are soulmates in the physical level, which means we accept each other's soul, but understanding that my soul has a physicality dimension, and every 9 years it changes. So it is important to understand the parallel between the energy system you have created, the structure of your life, and how you travel the same way in a space. It's the wish of winds to fly. He wants to be the first one who flies. So his system at night, because it's got nothing to do with psychology, falls off the table. Yeah, you'll be understanding a lot of these things. We told Dr. Antonio's system has fallen into because he brought the system here apparently yesterday to show he can do, but energy is not his forte, it's not what he wants to. He wants to fly. He's already blown a God knows how many grams of mercury in the space of playground or whatever, and he achieved it. He's achieved his movement, his vibration, his lift. I told you there are a number of people are going to fly in the coming days because especially the fat boy is the front runner, and these two guys here could hit it anytime. They're working on the system in the background. Pardon? Pardon? He has flown as well. You have flown the system? Has he flown yet? No. No. The thing is, we are going very slowly, but we have to go very fast because it's a change of gear. We most probably move the foundation from these premises because it's not suitable for us to teach here. The way we work is not set up, so most probably after September holidays, we move to the new educational center. We cannot collaborate with the Lund University in so many ways. There are management, they have no understanding of scientific organization. So it's part of the whole thing. We don't need managers in the space, but we have to separate our way in so many ways to be able to bring all these things in different floors in the new building. In the new building, you can go from one office to another, learn, compare, develop, and carry on. And one of the things these two guys are doing now, I think Marco knows more because I had time to spend with him on Sunday to explain more, is that we are building the energy lift system to be shown by the foundation. We can control the height, we can control the landing, we can control everything if we get it right. So the process is set. It can be compacted into a Coca-Cola can, or what do you call it, any lemonade soda can. And I looked at the preliminary structure today with Vince and Jeff, who are designing it to go for production. Everything is set to go to the 1st of August as we promised. And the beauty of it is, we are not hiding anything. This is hurting a lot of people. How openly we are teaching, how openly people are copying, how openly people can test. This has never been done because once you understand the thing, the system, strange enough, we start getting orders and people accepting to pay the governments the correct way. Now we're seeing the orders coming through in past 24 hours. We see who is choosing what, and people have an option to choose. And they want to make the change. And this is the beauty of it. They can make the system themselves, but they want to make the change. And this is what it comes to operation of the soul. Because they know they have responsibility in respect to the other souls on this planet. That's the change. This is what is going to change a lot of things. It's become spooky for a few world leaders, and it's becoming more spooky for a few world leaders who want to stay, but they see no option to change. Today, you have to understand what has been all been taught in past year and a half in the Keshe Foundation teachings. What we've taught is literally walking you through creation of the stars and how you take energy from the universe. From now on, I've seen some of the drawings you've been working on yesterday. The good thing is, I walked in last night, and guess what was the first comment I got from my wife? You know, she watches everything. She even looks at me. If I'm here, you were not on the picture for 2 minutes. Where were you? The cameraman is asleep. He doesn't follow you. So while I got home, because I wasn't here sorting out the production, imagine what is a wife to tell you the first thing. This was one of the best sessions I've ever listened to. You were not there. They couldn't speak. I said, so from today I go on holiday. I've done my job. So it means a lot of you have started understanding. But the point is, the ones who understand, go back on the internet and start teaching on every channel you know. Otherwise, you betrayed the ethos of joining the Keshe Foundation. It's not just coming here. Take your time. In the afternoon, when it's the workshops, I will not be here that much anymore in the workshops. I teach in the morning, and less, because now you have to develop the technology yourself as a race. But go on the line, listen, look, see who's looking, which energy groups are looking for free energy, sit there and teach them. Once they understand, we are not enemies, we are friends. The fear of unknown is causing the problem. Is something, I think about 60, 70 online students worldwide, something in that region. And each one of you, if teaches 1,000 people a year how to make systems, and they do theirs, in less than a year, we achieve 7 billion. So online teaching is paying its dividend. Here, I think once some things you have to do in the afternoons, my point is to gel you that together you understand you're equal and you share knowledge freely. This has been the biggest problem for the world of mankind. And the more isolation, the more importance and no value for life. So the way you're doing it, the way you're structuring it, we open the discussion groups in the afternoon like in the mornings very soon. I promise you, when the Keshe Foundation comes to a point, We open all channels of teaching 24 hours a day. It's you who's got to decide, I pay my 1,000 euro to the foundation to do the job properly than anything else. From now on, it's you who's got to build it. Get online, go find free energy groups and teach them. You've been looking for it. We are here. We show it to you. You do it yourself. We show the example today. You will see by the change of end of today, if we can manage to get what we planned, the way I brought the bicycle in the motorbike yesterday, we bring a huge change in the organization of Keshe Foundation. A huge change. You understand, I have told you before, this comes out of a lot of hard work, organization, people in a position of power who can open these channels for us. Is not something we've done. It's come through, again, knowledge seekers. It's come through the core team members. It's come through the governmental officials who have managed to direct it. And today, it's a collaboration of few nations together trying to change the course of humanity. But it's the first step. But it's important first step because now we reach an international level that we can explain. So yesterday you were better than me, so you don't need me in the workshops anymore. But don't stick only to the plasma. Start exploring the medical application. Start exploring the food application. Start teaching each other without prejudice. Sharing knowledge without prejudice, that if I know more, I might use it, they might do something, because your life is guaranteed because you already know how to make energy. System is there. Once you have an energy, this has been the most biggest problem for the human race. Free energy. You can create free energy, you can create motion, you can create food, you can create anything you like. So your biggest problem as a human race is open. Now, and how to, this time around, do it the correct way. Not to create a mayhem, but create solidarity, because in a space, 7 billion is a speck of dust in the world of creation. 7 billion of you is nothing. There are races that they run by order of magnitude. If you don't become one as a race, you're annihilated. Don't forget, Earth is one of the smallest planets living on this universe. What?
YouTube on. I just wanted to make that a point, is that we've been on this planet for what we've been told is not very long, and we're 7 billion of us. If there is a million planets that are equal to this, that's a million times 7 billion. So that's just a very small amount of planets in this, even in this galaxy. So I don't know if people can wrap their heads around what we're talking about.
You see, you got to realize you still look for physicality to conformation life. You do not need physicality, because once you understand the order of the change, then you can multiply very fast with the order and with intelligence. It takes an elephant how many months? 22 months to give life to an elephant. A man 9 months. A chicken, God knows what. 21 days. I used to put my egg and say 21 days, the clock next to it. Oh, today is going to pop its head up. When you don't have the physicality, elephant, big animal, 22 months too. Then you go to the chicken, 21. So you got to realize you have more or less everything to lead, to live, is now for you to understand the application and implication. How to apply it, where to apply it. All of you lot, yeah, there we are. All of you for nearly a year played with this CO2 and you played with this copper oxide. And some of you went a little bit deeper and you played with this one. You get a man from Africa, no bounds for the knowledge because he understood why should I stick to this to go. He's used mixture of this with something else. He has used green CO2 and titanium oxide is added to your capacity. And I'll tell you something funny. I had him on the line yesterday when I drove off. He is as happy as anything in the world. He's done something else new. I said, so we're expecting it. But when he comes here, he explains it. Because now Alex is part of the Keshe Foundation structure. He is part of the, what they call it, the team. He's on the payroll of the Keshe Foundation. So anybody makes him an offer to become to join them, he says he sold his soul. He doesn't go anywhere. So he's one of the teachers of the foundation. He will teach a lot of things to you because he gives it with his soul and he receives it back as a matter. And he says, look, this is what happened in matter. I don't say anything because it was his wish. He achieved it when he went back because he shared the knowledge so freely, he received more. And he's achieved so many. And he says to me on the internet last night, look, this. I said, I don't say anything. But goes back to the principle. He came here unconditionally and he shared the most beautiful knowledge. He was given a bigger gift when he went back. And he can't stop talking about it. Shall we bring him on? Is he there, Vince? Is Alex
I
online? Can
think
he speak
he
or is
was
he
trying before.
Alex? Hello? Hi,
Oh,
Alex.
we can almost hear you. Yep.
Do you want to tell people what gift you received yesterday when you went home?
My reactors
Speak louder.
make
Shout.
material. The reactors are beginning to make materials.
The reactors have started making materials. Different part of the room is collecting different matters. The way we showed you we explained in the technology for past 2 years, how you set up. So he says, now I have his dusting something else, says this is this, and I watch. That's what I said. The more you give, the more you receive. Thank you very much, Alex. Do you want to tell us what you see collected?
When has that, because I don't know what they are, it's just 3 layers of this. One of
You're
them
cutting up. You're breaking up. What is collecting more or less the way? Yes, carry
There's a
on.
picture. I can show you and see if he just.
Is breaking up, is the chopping of the bandwidth, where we had the same problem with him yesterday, is he is collecting like different materials in different places, depending on the field of the reactors is created around it. And it's a physical matter, you see it, is physical things. And this is what I explained to you. Now we are entering matter production, food production, energy production. So whatever I've taught and I've written and you've been listening for past year and a half as knowledge seekers, now you see it is coming to reality. Because now is the time. So he has created, if you remember in the Sensano, I explained to you, you put reactors in different positions, you create different conditions, you collect oxygen here, carbon there, or gold there. So now what is done, he's placed his reactor, but because his reactor is a new combination load, he's done it, because he's not a normal like you. You have become, I'm not going to say that as an insultive, but I'm going to say as a point to build on, to go to the next point. His Eminence Ayatollah Khamenei, in a speech when I was in Tehran, said the Iranian scientists should not become the photocopy of the knowledge of the foreign books, that they just copy it and read it. The Iranians should become the books which the foreigners copy from, because they add to the knowledge. We don't read the same thing as we already know. We read something and we copy it if it's new. So in a way, I see the same thing as what Alex is doing and a lot of you around. You have to realize nobody shines. There is no shining. Nobody becomes a star. It's just unconditionally sharing. And this is what you learn, and this is what's going to happen. Now you start collectively making matter a state. A lot of you will report creation of matter. A lot of you in the coming months will come back and you say, my soul has been touched. I feel different. I'm not the same man. I'm not the same woman. You heard that before. I've been there, no problem. The good thing is we have a couple, so we understand the problem of life. As I always say, we have wife and these guys have life. When you get married, there is no life, it's only wife. So, one letter difference, but that letter makes a lot of difference. Huge. The only thing is that pen, huh? When the minute you put that pen on the paper, it done. Your life is over. You sign yourself to it. Listen, I explained to you something. All of us wear this when we get married. Most of us do. Why do we do this? Not from the physical point. If I explain to you what the physicality means, you'll shoot me. But not. Why do we wear this? Have you ever thought why we give rings and why we wear rings? The men who are unfaithful, most of the time they take their rings off. Sorry, I lost it. This is your bone, your physicality, your soul. This is the ring, the physicality and the soul of the person you accept the ring for. This is your bone structure, huh? Your finger has a bone in the center. I give it my physicality, and the blood is around it, which is your emotion. This is the physicality of the person. And that little gap between your skin and this ring is the soul. That's why we wear rings. We gave both the physical and emotional. It's a plasma. You see this in your reactors. Huh? You open it up and it goes to the side. The principle stays. That's where we take the position. Because we want to say we are the center of the love. We are the one who gives. So we sit in the center with our bone. You understand? You married 9 times? Pardon? Oh, it depends. If you change the ring every 9 years, it might change the thing as well. So you got to understand where you're heading and how you're heading. When I had some people online last night, and they said, how much is it going to cost us? I said, it's free. We teach you free. Keshe Foundation members teach all of you how to do it. They could not believe it because nobody ever gives energy free, but energy is given free to us because we are part of the universal condition. We are created out of free energy. How come we can't give it free? This is exactly, I had somebody send me a link. He knows who he is, he's most probably online, that what I said yesterday about Elia Kostova is a change, and this has to stop. People who come around foundation, learn something, cannot become exclusive. This shows narrow-mindedness. This shows immaturity of the soul. Physicality for me is more important than anything else. Even I drum the drum of freedom of human race. Because we test gold with fire and test man with gold. And the ones who fail at that point will come. And we've seen Dr. Elia falling very heavily back. So the intention counts, but the soul knows. The same we saw with Dirk Lorenz trying to patent on the thing that he wants to protect the foundation. Foundation does not need protection. It's protected by more power than you can ever imagine. But it goes the way the human race can understand it. We don't need patents. And the people who put patents in means there are still thieves in the sky, dark night, trying to rob somewhere, under any pretenses. Knowledge, I come here, I give freely. I get poisoned, I still come and teach freely. I come out of the hospital with a broken, cracked head, I still walk in, there is nothing, I still sit and teach. They told me, you needed a week recovery. Why did you start teaching us straight away? I still suffer from the fall. I still have vertigo. But the important thing was the knowledge could be shared on the point as it was. And I don't sit and think, will I have food tomorrow? No, because it comes. It comes as it's supposed to be. The amount is supposed to be as I need it, as the foundation needs it. Alex comes, goes home, he came here, he shared, and now he's received a bigger gift. Now he knows how to make material. Now you got to adjust it. When he's here in a week or two, he will show you how to make copper out of free energy. Actually, what he's done, he has converted this thing back to this metal which he started with. He has gone through the process. We've done it. We explained it so many times over the past 2 years. Now, one of you have managed to do it. So this is the understanding. Converting this energy to what you like. How many times these two masters sitting here, I've told them, just don't walk into the lab when you go into the lab. Look around, look at the floor, see what's on it, observe. But just 1 second, please. Hello? 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 No problem. So, you understand? These guys been told to be like Alex for nearly a year. They walk in, check the reactor. You walk in, you look, you see even how the dust on the floor has shaped itself. You bring this close to this, you will collect water. Don't forget, it's not imaginary, because to you is that material we know is GANS. It's got water inside it. We know every single one of these cores carry a GANS with the water inside them. So somewhere where you create the right distance, field strength, you should be having a shower of water here, because the magnetic fields are there. In your CO2 box, you created a box with copper on one side and a zinc on the other. You create a condition of the carbon. Now find out how you can create a condition of water. We created bowls and put things in it to absorb water. Now that Alex has gone to the matter, now you have to start looking how you create your systems which they can produce anything according to condition. Yesterday, when I explained about the cola can with the energy, I said you have liquid in it. If you do it the right way, if you can organize your system the right way, which is getting non-designed that way, Only thing you need to do, just change a slight thing inside the core, and you can drink from it as well. You're creating energy because you're converting the energy in the systems. I saw you drawing things this morning when I came in from yesterday. The star formation and rings. Organizing the rings in the right order, you can have water, meat, and everything else in between. So, in fact, if you know how to organize this, if what you were discussing yesterday in your teachings, in your, what I call, workshop, yourselves, you have come collectively to walk a very, very close path. Do you need an if? And if you know how to change, you can put this in the middle, adjust it to what it is, and make your home. You don't need a shelter. If it's far for you to understand, go back in what I taught you and what we did in the medical application. 3 dynamic plasmatic fields creates the skin of the man. If you do the right combination, understand it in the coming time, you create your own shelter. Color it the way you like. You understand? Pardon? So now you come further. Alex has created a new condition that now you see. Alex, is it possible that you could do a video for us of your thing and send it for us to show it maybe tomorrow?
I'll try to do the video.
Pardon? Hello? Alex?
Hello.
It's easier to speak to Africa than London. Yes, it's crazy. Alex, could you take a video of the dust and the materials you produced and send it to us by video for tomorrow? Thank you very much indeed. So now, if you can make the cores which I saw the drawing here, if you go on the teaching of yesterday, and be able to adjust your discs, you have everything you want. And the way he collected it, the dust or copper core, whatever, if you can make it loose enough, you make a GANS dynamic wall. Nobody can come in. That's what Saturn does. That's what the planetary system do. Now, maybe you understand, as we said last week, how Jupiter makes his orange cloud. Is the interaction of different gravitational magnetic field is still a GANS, but because they're rotating in a different way, they give the appearance of a different color, but in the same area. If you look at it, is not this shape, on the planet. It is this shape. So it's a field interaction. It's not matter interaction. So, yeah, if you like, when you make your system and you understand further, you can make this go any color as you like. You can make it turning today here, tomorrow there. If you understand. Yes? Are we okay? Is it linked up? Okay. We just gotta wait till they come online. I'm waiting for a call as they come. Just wait 1 second. I'll try to call back and see if we can establish
Hello.
it. Hi.
Hi, Mr. Keshe.
Hi, how are you?
I'm well, I'm you.
You sound better now. I think the Queen didn't want you to be heard. Just
No,
wait.
because I just
Just
Okay.
wait a second. Wait, because we have to do this. Okay, we can hear you very good.
Okay.
Uh,
All right then.
okay, carry on. Nice to have you back. We can hear you. Now explain to us, what have you done?
Well, I set up a new reactor on Sunday, and then I placed it close to my star formation, the energy producing system, and then
Alex, can you
yes,
speak slower and break your words up, because it all becomes one noise. We can't separate the noise. It becomes,
okay,
can
then.
you speak it slowly and that we can understand what you've done?
Okay. On Sunday, I I set up a new star formation that I received from Marcel, and then
You
I ran
started
it.
a star formation on Sunday.
Yeah, yeah. So and
Okay,
then
how
at
did
the
you
base,
load it?
I used the composite ganses of the one I made with CO2, zinc, copper, orange, and bananas
Well,
for
let
two
me
cells.
repeat. Let me repeat. You put
Okay,
copper, zinc.
that is for the CO2 production. Then after a while, when the CO2 started coming a little bit, I
We
added.
can't understand it. We can't understand. You put
All right,
copper. Can
I made,
you?
listen, Mr. Case. Let me explain. Hello.
Hello, yes, we can't hear you clearly here. We're trying to
Okay.
repeat what you say that we understand. You got the
Okay.
copper and the zinc.
No, I made a CO2 set.
You made a CO2 set?
Yeah. I added an extra zinc.
You added an extra zinc plate?
Not a plate. A zinc wire. A zinc wire
A zinc wire?
on one side of the container, and then a copper wire on the other side of the container.
Okay, the zinc wire on one side and the copper on the other side of the container.
Okay. Then I added orange peels.
You added
On top of the
You added
on top of the container.
Pardon?
Yeah.
Excuse me.
I put orange peel on top of the container.
You put the orange juice on top of the container.
Not the juice, the peels. The peels.
The peels of the
yeah,
orange.
Yeah. And then with that configuration, I loaded 2 reactors to that.
So you loaded the reactor, 2 reactors of your base with
that
zinc, copper, and a zinc wire, and an orange on top.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which makes it 2 zinc and 2 coppers.
So you had 2 zinc and 2 copper. Both coppers nano-coated, or one of them nano-coated?
One of the both coppers nano-coated, because one of them was just placed on top. That was opposite the opposite the zinc.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I put an orange peel on top of the container.
You put HP.
Orange peel.
Orange peel on top. Okay. So the new GANS is copper, zinc, orange peel.
Yes, Mr. Kesh.
Yeah. Okay.
With that, I loaded 2 of the base reactors with
you
the
loaded
GANS in
2
it.
of the base reactors.
And then the 3rd reactor, I loaded it with copper oxide.
With the 3rd reactor, you loaded with copper oxide.
Yeah.
And
then the 4th reactor, I loaded with a composite GANS of brass.
You loaded the top reactor with the composite GANS of brass.
Brass. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But however, Mr. Kesh, I did not install. I've not installed the top reactor. I just installed I was running the three reactors at the base to have a stable plasma before I introduced the top reactor. So, well, before
you only ran the 3 base reactors and not the
that's
top
correct.
to settle the
Yeah,
core.
that's correct.
And then
when I came back yesterday afternoon from where I went, I saw that the reactor, there was dusty all over the place, and then there was liquid on the door, and then at the walls of the place I kept the reactors. And then I decided to leave it and see what's happening.
Let me repeat. You only turned on the base reactors and not the top reactor?
Yeah, the top reactor wasn't installed.
Yeah. When you came back, you found liquid and you found matters, dust around the reactor. Yes.
Yeah. But you should know that my reactor is set up in alignment with my star formation, the energy producing unit.
Pardon? Repeat again.
The reactor, the one I just set up, is
the
configured.
The fourth reactor.
Yeah, the one I set up, I had it in mind because my energy producing reactor, it's slightly bigger, larger than the one that is producing matter. So I thought I could create a magnetic tunnel that could enable me to drain whatever it has on the star formation. So I tried it once, and I did not even finish the experiment, but it was already producing matter.
So you're producing matter in respect to the old reactor you had.
Exactly.
Okay. Anything else we need to know?
No, not really.
Okay, so what I'm going to repeat what you've done, and listen, if I'm wrong, you can tell me I corrected, that we all understand.
Okay.
So what is done is...
Excuse me, Mr. Keshe. Something else I have to tell you.
Pardon?
Something I forgot to tell you. I use
Wait, I have to come to the microphone. Tell me.
I use a separate single reactor to separate the boundaries, to demarcate the boundaries between the star formation and the.
Can you repeat? What did you say?
Okay, I use a single core reactor.
Yeah.
To separate the bands between the star formation and the new reactor I made.
Okay, so you use the free reactor in between the two star formations, the one you're creating energy and the thing. Okay.
And the new one.
Let me start, then I can explain. He's put.
Okay.
This is the top view of the CO2 box. He has put a copper, nano-coated, a zinc plate. He's put another copper CuO nano-coated with a wire. So he has taken the GaNs which is produced and he's put it on 2 reactors. So we call this R. And the other one, the third reactor, is got only copper
CuO.
CO.
No, copper oxide.
CO2. So
no, CuO, tell him. Mr. Keshe is CuO, not CO.
Yeah. So you have CuO here, okay. So now you have a CuO. Now he's run this only the 3. The top reactor is not operating. So these 3 are the only 3 which are revolving. You have to remember that he already has a star formation which creates with the beads is energy for the house. Yeah? And
Mr.
he
Kesh?
has a single core in between. Correct?
Yes, Mr. Kesh. And then something else, the beads as well are all connected to the reactors of the new star formations because each of the core
Stop,
are
stop, 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 stop. What happened to the beads?
I use the beads to connect the reactors of the new star formation as well I was making. So each of the cores has its own beads.
Each core has its own bead.
Yeah.
Where? Where are the beads? Around it? Around each
No,
core?
what? No, not around each core. Just because I pass the current through the beads to the reactor. So each of them has a link with the bead attached to it.
I don't understand.
If I make sense.
Explain again. So the new core reactor has its own bead connection, but not its own
Yeah.
bead.
So each of the cores
Yeah.
of the reactors of the new star formations has its own beads to the connection, which means
Has a
any
connection
of
to the bead. Oh, stop. Has a connection to the bead which you already use for energy by wire.
yeah, but this is a different setup because that is different. But I just created beads on each of the reactor to
No, we are blind. It's blank sheet. You have to open
same
it
here.
first.
Same here. It's blank here.
It's blank.
Yeah, it flashed briefly. Now it's no. Back to Mr. Keshe now.
Excuse me, can I have your iPhone connection?
Okay, it's up there now, Vince.
Yeah. That's what I meant.
Where are the
Yeah,
beads?
that's what I meant.
Where are the beads?
On the left, I'm holding it onto the frames with the tape, and then if you see the frames, these frames is painted, but I mix dry ganses with the paints that I've used to paint the frame of the reactor.
So the beads are in the bucket, the gray bag on the top.
The beads are not in; they just attached to the body of the frame. The gray stuff is that's it. So it's just attached to the body of the
Yeah.
reactor. Yeah, because I don't want the thing to be dangling about. That's why I use the tape to attach it to the frames of the reactor. Yeah.
The red line is where the beads are. Beads or just one bead?
It's no, it's no, it's I think it's about 4 or 5 beads on each of the reactors, and then the start from the top reactor, which I've not installed, I have the I have the main setup. I use them 6 beads in the inner core and then 12 beads at the outer core, but I've not installed it yet. Uh, no, I don't have a better picture. I have to go offline to take a better picture.
Okay,
If I have to.
okay. This is let's go back on this. What we done. So you have created a beads of 4 or 5 for each reactor.
Yes, Mr. Kesh.
Yes.
Yeah.
So now you see the proposition. Next, what you've done. Pardon? The cameraman, excuse me, here. He's playing computer.
May I ask a question?
No, you can't ask a question.
It
He's put the beads around the cores. Can you tell us what are the beads made of?
Can I remember what the beads are made of? I think it's dry ganses of. I think it's dry ganses. I can't remember because I just used a mismatch of ganses to make the beads.
Mixed mathematics.
Yeah,
Okay. Now.
Yeah, but it's dry ganses.
Dry ganses. So what you've done is this is your power unit.
Yeah.
This is your power unit is still running in the house. You have a single core and you have a new combination.
Yes, Mr. Keshe.
So where do you find different materials?
Well, I don't know which of the posts is which, but if you go back to the picture.
Okay. If we go on this one, what do you find around one core?
There you have more concentration of the red stuffs, which I don't know what it is.
Red.
Yeah, or red or brownish stuffs. I don't know what it is. And then opposite there, yeah, where your hand is, I get white powderish substance on the floor.
Okay.
And then by just up a little bit, up. It's okay. Raise up your hand a little bit. Yeah, somewhere around there. No, down a little bit, down. Put your hands down a little bit. By the side. Yeah, by the side.
We call it R1, R2.
Okay, R1.
R1. Here. Up here. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, you find same thing. You find the rings. You find the three combination. You find the white stuff, and then the brownish stuff, and then underneath the white stuff. If you look at the foot of the
white.
If you look at the stand of the reactor, the star formation, you see what I mean. You have three stripes.
Where is your liquid?
The liquid spawns all about the place.
Pardon? No. Where is the water? Where is the liquid?
The liquid is spawning all over the place. So I cannot. No. Listen, Mr. Keshe. The liquid is right at the middle of the reactor of the formation, right at the center.
Yeah, there is a liquid.
Yeah, that's where it concentrates most. When I look at it, first look at it. Yeah.
You say the liquid, the blue one is the liquid. You see, okay, that's perfect, Alex. It's absolutely perfect. Now, let's understand one thing. This is what will change you to work different. A very simple explanation by Alex. There is no limitation into what you mix. If you keep a track record of what you mix, you will know what you receive, you analyze it, it will be there. Two-star formation, more or less a twinity, and conditioned by beads changing. These are why these things are important. The way Alex does it is because he doesn't collect data. There is no limitation. He experiments to understand what's new. Once we see this, once you understand this, in the coming time, then we analyze what's in each bead and then what is going to give you. This is exactly what we said in the Sensano. You and here in our teachings, you put the center. Yes.
I can tell you what's in the bead. I can tell you what's in the mix. I think it's the same. It's the same composite guns and dry guns. Sorry, the leftover of the dry gases are used on the two core reactors at the base.
Okay, just he put the cup mixture of flour.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Not the copper oxide, just the orange GaN.
So let me go back to it, Alex, you understand. It's not important what you put in there. The important is that you open a new way of thinking and approach that to expand, to open the horizon of knowledge. The way what we said, you Italians. The way what we said before, you bring what is taught in all the teachings into physicality that they can see. You collect water, you create different matters, and most probably this is a composite GaNs, which we have to find out what it is. The amount of research and development in new industry is so huge that whatever man has achieved up to now in all the universities in past 1,000 years and in all the PhDs is a speck of dust in what is to be gathered. So the ones who have a fear of the computer is going to take all jobs, now they are computer consultants themselves. This is the future. Adding a little bit, finding out what it is. Creating conditions. He's done nothing else. He has created conditions. And then you see what's the outcome. If you go back,
Mr. Keshe,
yes,
can I tell you how I position the new star formation as regards in respect to the my energy producing system?
Pardon?
Can I explain how I position the new star formation in respect to the free plasma?
In respect to
the energy producing system, the other reactor.
Bid. Yeah, okay. How?
The new star formation that has three reactors at the base. The copper oxide was in front of the reactor, facing the reactor that has the link, and then the copper oxide of the other reactor on the star formation.
Yeah.
So did you get that? So I had the two reactors at the base behind, and the two reactors that is filled with the gases of banana, oranges and CO2 at the back, and then the copper oxide at the front. And then in the other reactor, which is the old star formation, I had the copper facing the direction of the other one, the copper that is on the new star formation. Does it make sense?
Yeah, I understand what you've done. The important thing is, two things has got to change. You got to put a camera in your lab and a good microphone to show us things, or the best solution is we shift it to Italy for good. Then
no, Mr. Keshe.
we take you out of the box and we put you back in again. So what is important is understand, take the shackles of limitation. For 2 years, year and a half, as I said, you've been playing with this, and some with this, some experimented with this, with the Chinese and the rest. If you go back in what I said last week about the fat boy, I said you put the rings on of different gangsters. That's all he's done. This is what Alex does. He takes the world and converts it into physicality of testing. Nothing more. You all can do it. But now, next step is you understood for the first time you can create liquid, you can create matter. Want to know which one of you will bring us to show us the first lift? Control lift. And then control lift with thoughts. And then in coming time, how you can change the soul of every man to one level that nobody fights. I think by September, end of September 2016, will be achievable. So we've got a year to mature the science. I think it's the internet connection problem, Vince. There could be lack of internet
Hello.
connection. Okay, so what we got to do is to understand the process. What we got to do is taking the shackles of limitation away. What is done here with different rings and whatever, it was just what I was explaining before. You have a ring here, you have a star formation here, and you have a ring here. If you adjust them and adopt them, you can correct anything you like in between them. The cola can, in the coming time, you will see some of them will have a hole in it. That's why we said yesterday we wanted to be cut. So maybe you find us at the end of it if you do it the right way. Salt and pepper shaker, I call it.
Mr. Keshe, can I ask a question, please?
Yes.
So if we want to make the material that is useful to us, for instance, so how do we configure the reactors?
Repeat the question.
If we want to make materials that are useful to us, because what I'm making now, it's not really useful to me. So if we want to make things that are useful to us, like for instance, if I want to make bread or I want to make banana, how do I configure the reactors to, or how do I load the reactors to achieve materials like that?
Two things. Do you want the physicality of the bread or do you want the emotional feeling of the bread?
I think I prefer the physicality because I'm still in the physicality, Mr. Keshe.
You still can't do it. You got to find out.
Okay.
You got to find out what the bread is made of and achieve it bit by bit. You got to build it up in a very simple way. Now you know how to make the water to make the dough for it. So if you remember how you made things, now you got your water. That's why I say keep record of everything you do. So
I'm keeping records.
Yeah. So out of the bread, you already got the water. You have managed to create H2O. Now you have to look for the balance energy of what else you want for the flour. You want the yeast, you want the flour, you want salt. What else you put in it? Nothing else. And you said you had a brown and white, so you already know you can make your bread brown bread. So you got the color, you got the water. Now you have to see about the salt and sugar. The game has changed. I explained to you something very interesting because this is what's happening around the foundation. And we've been open enough to put everything on the table. The people who come across with us to benefit their own financial gain, and once they learn something they can gain, they walk away because now they think they become Bill Gates. And they find out very soon there is nothing there because they took half of the information. They didn't take the soul of the information. It's like people who download copybooks and they don't understand. So you get a book, but you don't get the soul of the information. A lot of you have to move even from this position. because you're still looking to create matter. Always look for this. And in fact, if you look at it this way, it's irrelevant what sits where. Single core, double core, different materials, different gases. You still go to satisfy this, to get these parts. If you mature to understand that if you achieve this, you have everything the way you want. And my job is to teach you how to get there step by step. You're there, but somehow none of you sees it. You don't need to set up these elaborate conditions. If you stand clear, you understand the soul, there's somebody behind the door. Ooh, Loom University wants to come in. If you understand this, if you understand how to create the free plasma without material, you wish, your wish is your command. Understand, I started this discussion today with this. The soul of the man is exactly the same as here. Alex, switch off your microphone. That was who? Oh, hi, Chris. How are you? Mr. Christmas Stanley, our control advisor. God knows whatever you like to call him. Thank you very much for being with us. So now you understand, you still got a long way to go because you still look at this to create this. And here in the body of the man, if I can put it this way, I'll do it this way, you understand it better. In the body of the man, you already
We're just replacing the battery there, I think, at the SSI. So please hold on while we get the audio back.
you have seen the structure. You've seen the heart, the lungs, and if you think of it, I'll teach you something you never noticed. And you have the emotion. So if you can reach the soul of the man, you can satisfy any of the physicality. If you know where to position your hands from your body, because you're so physical, excuse me, cameraman, we need some camera. I teach you this, you understand. This is what he's done. Yeah? If you come to the point, you reach your hand out in the right order, you put the right emotion into it, you wish the breath, it'll be in your hand. A lot of you in the coming time will do this. But you have to cleanse the soul. That becomes one wish. We seen it with Vince. He wanted the reactor, a composite thing, to fly that day because he saw the things, he got it done. So in the coming time, a lot of you, and this is a test when we ask you, would you like to go to space to join the universal community? We don't look for how you look. You have 2 legs, 4 arms, you're paraplegic, brown, white. We ask you to bring your own bread with you, that you know how to feed yourself in the space. The ones who can will join. The judgment day is you judging yourself, purity of your soul, not a punishment. If you can bring your food to feed yourself and you wish the water, my blood, my soul, you can feed yourself in the space. That's your test. When you get to that level, you're not a burden on the rest of the universal community. So it's not just building a reactor, it's teaching you how to get to your soul. So now you know who will go. And if you think we have any president with us, any of the kings, very easy. Can you feed yourself? Goes back to the teaching of Blessed's name is Christ. This is my bread. Because if you have the bread and you have the wine, the water, you're alive anywhere in the universe. So now you know the condition of the passage. The condition how you can be, because if you have the water and you have the bread, you shall not steal. You don't commit a crime. All the crime is done to have something to eat and drink, because in the universe, everybody is naked. They don't look at the size of your breast or your penis, because everybody is naked. Because we are naked from physicality, not with the dresses of man. So what you understand, so in a short way, a long way, is don't try to make this, because it's a long way around. Try to use this to get what you want. Only a very few men have achieved this up to now. I wish Armand stands next to me with Caroline to see a shooting star. What do you see? The shooting star. I said, you want a second one? Because it shows the purity of the soul. My wish is my command, even being the sky of the universe. It doesn't happen. You can stand in the garden for a whole night. You won't see a shooting star. But you know there is two when you wish it. Correct? He's been there. Excuse me, cameraman, over there. You have to hear him because he's seen it. Him, there. Correct. You've seen the shooting stars 2 times. When I said you will see, you saw. In my garden, here in Italy. 2 Sundays ago, after we had dinner, I was explaining to him how the souls are transported. He made a beautiful barbecue, and then he said, okay, because you enjoy it, I'll show you my pleasures. Correct? So you have to understand your wish is your command if you have a pure soul enough to receive. You have the soul. You have the free plasma. Why do you go through all this elaborate where you don't go directly to soul? How many tons of gold you want on the table, it'll be on the table. How many tons of bread you want to be on the table. So you have to understand what Alex shows us is part of the physicality which He has a problem with you lot more than me, that he cannot explain it, but he can feel it. And because he gives so much freely, he receives more freely. If you go back, hello, hello, we are waiting for you.
Hello,
Is there a
sir.
problem? Hello, is there a okay? No, it's just that I just spoke with a guy. He tells us they misunderstood the timing. So what it is, this is the condition of the change. It's understanding how you change energies into matter at the point of demand. If you go back on the recording of last week, remember when I spoke with the core of the big core, or the big boy, or a fat boy? I said, you put your bead, your nano coating on either side. If you understand that, you can translate the information to this and understood this, you decide where you want to be. Because here, the water decided that's where it's placed. The red material there. Is the red water planet Earth, the blue? Or would you like to be in planet red? Because you can wish it. That's what I said. When you see UFOs in the sky, you're still dealing with primitive culture. Because advanced level understanding of creatures in the universe don't use transportation. Even though to you, UFOs are a fantastic thing, you're dealing with what I call class 1. And there are 12 years before you get to university. Different shapes of the craft will give you the level of understanding of the creatures according to their intelligence. And you have nothing, but you wish. The bread is in your hand. You don't need system to make bread, to carry food. You don't need reactors built inside to create different structures to have matter. Because you wish to have a milkshake because you had it on planet Earth. You wish, you know the energy you receive, you replicate it, you receive. You go to planet Zeus, there they eat something which is green but it's very tasty, but heart stands blue, yellow, whatever. You remember it, you receive it. So now whatever I've taught you, you see it more and more takes shape. But this, the way you are going, you lot, you are still eating this way. It's a very hard way to feed. Learn to be clear with your soul, you eat this way. And some of you are actually going like this and turning back, and you never get there to feed yourself. So you want to go that way, you're quite welcome. Universe is full of idiots. And we have an idiot machine measurements. And when we see it goes too bad, we come to give a hand. But if you mature, good morning. When you mature and you understand, it does not matter on the creature. It does not matter your old man. We had the guru who could feed himself through the energy universal, but he used it to abuse the others for him to be worshipped. So he's not a guru, he's a thief because he's taking from the others. You understand? And what he does, he has a habit. When he comes, the ones who are more powerful than him, he touches in the back to take from the heart and the soul. He tried me 3 times. I just moved aside. I'm your master. I don't take you, take energy from me. He touched Caroline. Caroline went nearly to a heart shock. Dr. Elia Kostova was with us in our meeting. She said, make sure they don't touch you. He's not a guru. He's a thief. He's worshiping himself. So you understand how you can take energy. How? Why not you give it that it comes back more to you? And then you wish, this is my bread, this is my body, this is my soul, my blood. And that's what Christ did. He gave. And you see, he has 2 billion followers because of his belief at this moment. Talk about how many billions have been in past 2,000 years. Because he gave unconditionally. The other ones who became a thief, they didn't take much. So understand, I've got to put another 30 in front of it. So try to understand the totality of what you're doing, and then you can reach which way you want to go. You want to go eating, or do you want to go pleasure of giving? Then you don't need to eat because you have enough. In a transportation from the soul to the physicality of the hand, you have already received what you need from yourself. Thou shalt not steal. So this is what I explained to you about the condition of MS, where the muscle tissue converts into energy for the body to feed the soul. To satisfy the hunger, I'm needed, I've been lost, I didn't get the love. So I give from my physicality to my soul. Then this is your condition. And if you move from this more to energy of this, you're done. But man is physical. We've got thousands of years to go yet. We've seen people who came here, showed us the system, and they suddenly thought they are gods. We lose a university for it. It doesn't matter. He lost his life. My wish is my command. Because it's not the physicality, it's the soul which is lost. We see this quite a lot with Keshe Foundation. We are a testing ground without them knowing. They come to fail. So they go and try to get to learn. They fail again and they come back again. I always said to my mother, he said, why are all these things happening around you? I said, because I'm the testing gauge. They don't know, they come to me to understand if they fail or they pass. A lot of people fail. I tell you something, I've told you before, maybe it's the last time I say it because people need me to know. I've told you many times that I came down, I saw my mother crying. You remember? She had a dream and she was crying. Yeah? I said, why are you crying, Mom? She said, I thought you were dead. You're dying. You got about to die. I said, tell me the dream. She said, I dreamt the dream of, she was a Baha'i, the Prophet, Baha'u'llah, in a white robe, carrying you. And I said, don't let him go. He said, he's one of us. He's here to deliver. So I know what I have to deliver is for you to understand. But if you want to go the hard way, go the hard way. If you want to go the easy way, soul has both. This is the physicality, and this is your soul. You decide which way you want to manifest yourself. And if you do, then this is all a show. You don't need it because it's too much time wasting to convert, to achieve, to convert. And this one is the clown because it's got to be there for you to see it. So try to understand something very simple. Alex is bringing you more and more in condition of understanding. You are in charge, you are in control. But it's you who have to decide what you put where, when you need it, but the energy is free. It can be used for anything else when it's not needed. Needs to manifest itself as a brown and white bread, it will come. Needs to come as a water, it will come. And if it needs to be anything else at the point of need, it shall deliver. So you want banana, according to your strength, this is banana. If I come here and I have the same setup, this could be to me orange. Because that's according to my strength, not yours. This is what I give to my child. This is what he receives from the mother. It's the soul who's got to decide how much it takes if he wants to have a banana or an orange. This is the same operation as you have with the blood, the lymph, and neural system. The neural system, this brings the emotion. This brings the physicality. This brings the soul. Because don't forget, every single part of you is amino acids. So it has its own soul. So your neural system delivers the information of the wish of your soul. What you call it the nerve system. The others are to bring the two together for you to have it. That's why you need one egg that carries a soul and creates a child with a soul. Because it has that line of interaction. So you got to understand how you create condition, but you create the condition of the soul. Then it's irrelevant the material world. Because if you are in this condition, you are an energy which never ends, and size of the universes are irrelevant. You are happy to go from Tiny to Barry. He's happy to go from one universe to another. Because it does not take any energy, because as it gives his wish, he receives his demand. Are we okay now? Are we asleep? Awake? So this goes with what I just said. When my mother told me in the white robe, he says he's one of us, I knew my job is to give, not to receive. So I give my technology freely because it's not mine. I have them from the beginning. It's just for you to understand if you hear the voice of the soul or you hear the voice of the matter. This is what I keep on saying. When I speak to the door for the world to hear. Man is the door and the world is the universe. Teaching is the same. Instead of single prophets for a small group, universal totality to bring everything in the same order. So now you understand how you have to direct yourself. And don't forget, when you receive the UFO to go to universal community, you should be able to produce your own bread and wine. Wine is your emotion, your physicality, and the bread is your physicality, and your wish to travel is your soul will be achieved. I have not seen many presidents who do not bear the banner of greed, and I haven't seen many priests who are not short of a king because they go to the house of God. People come, they think they come to worship them, not to worship the man who brought the message. And then they do whatever they like. We are God, we can do whatever we like. The same as the kings. There is no difference between the religious leaders around the world and the presidents and the kings. The rest are our subjects and our objects. We do what we like. They have no place in a universal community. They can do whatever they like with themselves here. The Queen of England says, my subjects, where she's a subject herself and she doesn't want to see it. She's subjected to a life beyond means of life, but a long way to elevate. I always explain this sometimes to my children. If this is a well and you want to enjoy the environment of the well, when you are here, you can enjoy it. When you fall down, it's a long way to come back to enjoy what was yours. And a lot of world leaders in any shape or form are here. They've jumped so deep, they never come up. They've taken so much that there is not much to give to them to come up. So the reason Alex come back, and it comes with this, is for you to understand what you got to do. It's not that you're going to throw all your clothes and all your belongings and start walking naked like the guy says, I found it. You remember? Is to free yourself of the shackles of the soul and the emotion. The material world will be there. You can wish to walk with the clothes made of gold and walk like this, you'll be the gold man. It's been done before. Do you want the health of this or do you want the health of this? This is the minute something else comes, it changes to something else. If one bead falls off the thing, the rest have to adjust. If tonight one of the beads falls off, the rest of the fields, the banana will become poison and the orange becomes cyanide. Because it just changed physicality. How many times I've said, my time, my place, I decide. Because whatever you do, you change something which is already too weak to be done. The same with all of you. You got to learn to feed your soul and not your physicality. And all of you are interested in physicality. I say, we are physical, so we'll stay physical. Planet Zeus? Nothing there. Everything is gone. So, you see the proposition, you see how simple. If Alex takes the beads from this one and puts it here, would the red move to this side? Most probably he'll get green here, or orange. Understand something which I think he hasn't understood himself is he tells you something very interesting. And this is one of the reasons that he started creating matter. You remember the Fukushima box? You could put things in and out, the universal box of matter, or plasma, you call it. What he's done, he tells you orange. What is on the skin of orange? Alcohol, gases. That's what it is. When you peel it, you smell the orange, the oil. The oil, one of its indication is it has the essence of life. And because he's touched it, his wish was now, I want to make material. He's made it. Because energy, he already done. When he was here, in his conversation, he said to me, you know, I want to make matters. And I said, this is a gift you receive. He goes back. A day later, he sees it. You can give gifts. Because it was his wish, I literally satisfies his wish. But you understand, because the soul is pure. So he decides, he receives. There is a man who wants to shut down the institute. Professor Lutzi doesn't see financial return from the foundation because I give everything free. So we've taken the essence of life from him in Albania. He's going to lose everything because he wants to stop the education. Albanian government, through our wish, will take everything from him. He'll be here on hands and knees asking to become part of the Keshe Foundation. Because he was given a gift. He's done the same thing with Apple. Now he receives it back. We teach from a table in a jungle. We taught on a desk in the Cincinnati on the beach. Physicality of the frame is irrelevant. This is why we're just discussing earlier, the students coming for education for October, their paper is not getting done because he's a financial man. This time we take wealth from him because he got it the wrong way the second time. He hasn't learned. But institute doesn't stop. Soon I explain to you more because you're still involved in the physicality. Professor Lutzi has to start from the bottom again. Not because he's taken knowledge and freedom from the others. Stealing is not your right. So once you steal, you have to pay back. And he's on the phone to me, he says, Albanian government, I have to move. He doesn't know he will not move. Because you cause a problem, you receive a problem. You understand? That's why I said, reorganize, moving from here to the new position. Because the structure of this building, we didn't know. When we came, is built on theft and fraud and deception in respect to European community. And I said, Professor Lutzi, why did you bring us in the hand of place where it is wrong? And we move. So you understand the structure which goes beyond it, the structure which sits beyond understanding. You get entangled with this, you move away from this. You move through this, you will receive all of this. It's you've got to decide. They tell me I talk very direct because this is the correct way to do it. The problem is not mine, the problem is theirs. Vince, do you have any connections yet? Hello?
Bear with us for a couple of minutes while we figure out the audio connections here for everybody involved.
You have to start now. You've seen the ground breaking through. You've seen the energy. You've seen 2 lifts with people who are near to you. Now you've seen the matter. You've seen the water. Is very rapidly comes to understand the structure of your soul. Then you can change the physicality. Very little difference. If you want to know how little the difference is this. You made a core, you filled it with a copper oxide, with the transition of the water with a hole. The difference is this line. You didn't hear me? The difference is this line. Because here you have the solid state of matter as a Gantt still, and here you have the connection with what it becomes untangible, non-tangible total. So you have to make that line. A lot of you still sit here. And some moved here. If you can make that transition, because all started from the matter, where we feel the container that cores out is totally liquid and matter, plasma. When it comes to get the soul, you get the line of separation. Then it's the energy of this here which allows the existence of this and this. Some of you in the future, when you open up your reactors, you can get a vision of a true way. You will find out there is nothing here. It's just a visualization of the energy field. But to you, you want it to be a matter state because it confirms you put something in. There's still a lot of you have a problem with the free space here, which is the essence of the creation. Because whatever fields are given and they're not taken is stored in the center. There is no difference between this and this in your triangles. Would you like to be this, which are conditioned that can extract you out, or you want to be that which exists unconditioned? Because the minute you open your plasma, your reactor, this is not lost. This is freed. This is the time when you die. When you die, physicality disentangles, you free the soul. That's why I keep on telling you, when you make system, always pray. It means give from your soul that you receive when it comes to the time of receiving. So physicality, emotion is all irrelevant. So try to go a step further in the development. Try to go to understand the soul of your structure, not the physicality of seeing 12, 13 kilowatts or whatever it is here. Don't forget, they told me, if you can make 5 watts, then you've broken the taboo of energy. At the moment, we've done 10 kilowatts difference, and nobody talks. How much is 10 kilowatts of energy? It's a lot of energy. It's a lot of energy. 10 kilowatt is huge amount. We made 10 kilowatt, it's not important. They said to me, if you can show even 1 milliwatt, Mr. Keshe, you are broken the thing, free energy. 10 kilowatt. And the thing is, the knowledge is not mine, the knowledge is yours. You have to understand how to use it. And it's energy. That energy, if you make it 2, then you have the soul. Would you like some? So please understand, this is the way for you to see if, let me explain to you how physical this thing is. If this was his beads, like this, let's say, and we call this number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, and he changes it to number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, and number 5, you will get most probably, God knows whatever color, or you will get no matter here, because the energy here is not at a matter level. So if a little change makes such a difference, you can imagine what you can put in there and what you receive. If he would have put this ring by mistake over here and this ring by mistake over here, most probably he had nothing. It was another test of them. His wish was here to make matters, that he can make food. It was granted. He goes back, he receives it. Part of this structure he's seen is because the wish is given. All it is, this is the line. He had the 2. How many times I've told you, I'll make you to see the soul of Christ. And if you are ready, the time for it is now. But I tell you one thing, the Pope will say no, it's sacrosanct, because then he has no position. He cannot speak in front of his master. So you have to understand from now on how rapid we are developing the technology. And I'm not doing it. The most beautiful black man from Nigeria in his kitchen in center of London does it, or north of London does it. So, because if it was just me, I was a charlatan. Now, because a black man does it and everybody sees it, it's got to be accepted, because nobody is lower than a black man who's a barber in London, according to them. But they don't know the soul level of his soul. It's the highest soul they could ever achieve. So now you see. Try to understand your change of position in respect to your own position, not to the others. Then you don't become greedy. You can have whatever you like. In a recent past history, a man went to see a prophet. And a driver, a truck driver, if you call it. And when he went, he said, "What's your wish?" He said, "My wish is to become very rich." But because he was serving his master, the master said, "If it's your wish to have wealth, you can have." He became one of the richest men in the world. He died a few years ago. But he made one promise to his master. I will use my wealth to support the faith the correct way. And he did. That was his, what do you call it? His payment. But I make sure. And during his life, he did what he promised at the time when he received it. When he went back, within less than 5 years, he became one of the richest men in the world at this time. But he never broke himself, and he never broke his promise. Because always he said, the physicality is irrelevant. The pleasure that I asked and I was given was the satisfaction and richness. So you got to go in that direction. Now you've seen you can create matter. I teach you something how to start. This was the table at the Keshe Foundation in the Sansana. I put a ball in the center, and I said, when 8 of you reaches unity, you will see the light. Correct? The head. In any shape or form you put this, you have a star formation. And when the energy balance is correct, the field will enlighten. Now you understand. So this is your star formation. You have your base, you have this. What you got to understand? This circle is still kept, still with us, even though it's been poisoned. They put arsenic in it. Mr. John Sketton has injected arsenic into this. That if one day somebody opens it, they will die of poisoning. Marco and I, we saw it. It changed color, and the hole on the top was open. He has injected arsenic that one day you open up. But he doesn't understand that he poisoned the physicality, not the soul. So if you want to learn how to find a shortcut from this to this, find 3 men of yourself. Then, in a very simple way, you will be enlightened. 3 people, the same as you. If you're pure, you'll find them. Then your wish will be your command, and you can do whatever you like. But you all have to wish the same true wish, not fictitious wish. And I tell you something, for humanity, 2 of the 4 are already here. Now you got to find the other 2, because then does not matter which one of you comes here, the 3 are there, you can change this with the other 7 billion. You achieve the soul of the humanity. Then you're complete. Then you can go to space. But the problem is, that's why we push for a world peace. Because when the totality wishes the same, you become, doesn't matter what, around the table. So you wish, test yourself first. And those of you who think they're going to go to space and become part of the universal community, and you cannot stand in front of you and put your hands out and receive what your wish is, say goodbye. Go back and practice. Because if you have, as I said, your food and your water, you don't need to steal. So you don't commit any crime. So now you understand how much you have to change these little beads to adjust this to be correct. These are physicality of the bead, but in reality is your emotion, your greed, your clothes, and everything else. How much you have to redial the combination code of a, what do you call it, the safe box, to be able to get it. And the only one who gets it there is you, because you cannot lie to yourself. Thou shalt not steal. Now you understand. So, Vince, are we in a position to bring them in, or we let it go? No, we need the people who are supposed to be here.
Yeah, someone, I'm online. My link keep on going on and off, but I've been online for the past 10 minutes or so. No, I've been online. I've been online for the past 10 minutes, but my link keeps on going on and off. Okay, thanks. Yeah, that is what I mean. I've not seen them on yet, but I'll try and just I'll try and talk to them, because I've not seen them online yet. I'll try and pass it on to them to quickly get.
I just received a text from Sandor in respect to the students of the foundation. Nothing will change in respect to the foundation students, because we have made a different provision. We knew this might come up. So the students and the position of the students in the foundation does not change, stays the same. So what you got to, what are we going to do, Vince? I think you better speak to Samuel, because he does not know how to guide these people through. Yeah. So go back on what we saw from Alex. The slide changes will change a lot in the positioning of the other materials. But if you look in detail, if you go back in more depth, for this red material to be here, you got to see the combination. How many, let's take one of the beads. How many of which cans, what position, what tightness, what nanowire was involved in it? How did he wrap the aluminum that created the right pressure? All these have contributed for this red material to be here. Because he says there are about 5 beads, so that's 15 beads, times 3, times 1, times the 4th one, which is on the top, and then you have all that the structure. And one thing you don't understand is this thing is connected to the grid. Now, it depends what the neighbor takes from the grid that he can have this condition. Because now the condition is not what he had here. You can replicate exactly the same, but you will not get the red material because he has connected himself into the light of British grid. If a man in Glasgow takes a cup of tea, must be using part of the energy he put in there. If he decides he's not going to have a cup of tea today, he will not have his matter here. That's how complicated this thing is. It's not the simplicity that he just put this thing and he's got. Now he has connected himself and he says he put this in the middle, the star formation, connected to grid, the speed of rotation of the star formation and magnetic field release is all connected. You will not be able to replicate this again. Because, do you know what it is? Alex, go home today. When you go back into the kitchen today, change the position of the beads and see if the color changes, or you're still producing. That's why a lot of tests, oh, it worked before, now it doesn't. I don't know what I've done wrong. With the plasma, is not the physicality, is how you connect with the energy. You sit here, you've been here for nearly 4 or 5 days. You continuously see, you hear the speed of the motion of the reactors changes. Quite often, you see changes. Some of you who've been observing these reactors, you should see even the color of the rotation changes. The cores do not look exactly the same. Even the fields in the interaction is creating a slightly different color on the copper core. You need your glasses because you don't take notice. If you come and you look and you go back and take a picture and compare them tomorrow, the colors are not the same because it has created its own magravs. It decides its own, more or less its own rotation, and then it dictates how much is prepared to give. 2.3 kilowatts, 13.3 kilowatt. So you got to see how it is, and don't forget, if you look, we are using quite a lot of energy just to run this motor and to run that motor from here. This takes energy to run too. Is there a problem, Vince? Are we going ahead or is this still a block? I think that you said you're going to go home and coming through, huh? I said when you said you're going to do a full session without interruption, I think it's coming through. Till you get them sorted out, your wish will be done. I think you knew it before you started it's going to be like this. We have to wait till we get this. We got to go, as I told you, the teaching is going to become very intense from now on. Because all the, what do you call it? Birthing time is over. We gave birth to plasma. We've seen it being developed. And now it's exactly like the birth of a child. You have to understand it's got arms and legs and heart. And the function of it is to create this tiny little soul. So you got to go very fast. It's the same as your body creates all sorts of things in 9 months for you to be ready to give birth. The last 6 weeks does more than what it does the first, God knows, 30 odd weeks. because now the process is very fast. You got to teach, you got to learn, you got to understand the target is not making GANs, the target is to nourish the soul. And people don't see. It was very interesting. Yesterday, I walked somewhere and I made a judgment beforehand in respect to what I knew about the soul. And less than an hour later, it was like testing if I know good yet or not. It was confirmed that the person is not there to serve, is there to prove, can do. So everything was irrespective, irrelevant. Who you walk over, who you hurt, how you get to it. The objective was, I want to get to prove I'm something. And I watched it, and I said, I cannot help this soul. Because it's been tested before, you see it all over it. It says failure all over, and it still does the same thing because it got to be tested again. So you have to realize your soul has to be the judge of your physicality. If your soul is a judge of your physicality, then you can produce physicality because you control the soul. As I say, if you thought all this was how to get free energy, in reality is here to free the shackle of your physicality from your soul, the energy of it. So you look at the different energy, I look at the different energy. My job is this, your interest is that. Until I change you from there to here, then you're free. And this is one of the reasons, and in a way, I said yesterday, they don't see what I brought them. Because I knew today I'm going to discuss this. When we brought the bike, it's a symbolic from physicality to move into no physicality. And that bike is physical, it's a symbolic for you to carry yourself. Nothing else. And none of you got it. Because strange enough, is red. It's the color of the blood of the man. You've got to change your emotion to be where you are. You could have picked other colors. There are other colors in the what do you call it, in the warehouse. There are 3 of them there. Actually 4 of them. So now you got to understand to develop in the right direction. So what do they say? The choice is yours. How you want to do it? You want to go through all this, and just by accident, if the guy in what do you call it, in Cornwall decides to have 1 coffee too early, this will not be here too. So all this fighting is not worth it because somebody else makes the decision. Would you like a coffee? Maybe through European Internet organization of the electricity, you can effect to change the red color of the material for John, what do you call Alex in London. As you know, through a very elaborate situation, all the, more or less, all the European, most of the nations are connected to each other through electricity. As you have highways going across the countries, you have power and fuel connections which are known to public. Sometimes in Italy, you're short of energy. Where do you get it from? The source in Europe for guarantee sits in France. France is a nuclear power base. It can support most of the infrastructure in Europe if something falls down. if Europe cannot receive energy to run the mainframe computers for security and national operation, more or less all the Western Europe links, because that's why French was kept in nuclear. French supplies nearly 85, 90% of its energy through nuclear reactors. The only country in Europe is totally self-sufficient. And during the surplus time, through the structures which is set across France, they can supply off-peak demands to the other nations. Don't forget, in the West, they hit the traffic 2 hours after they do in France, or 3 hours after they do in England. So as it moves, the demand moves. French national grid supports the whole of the European operation if there is a demand shortfall. They've done it for years, but in a way, when the Giscard d'Estaing and before he made these decisions to see this thing through, is because now France controls the energy and Germany controls the banking. They can squeeze it anytime they like, somebody will pop. Most of the fuel lines come through Germany from Eastern Bloc, from Russia. All the gas pipes. Between the two of them, they control, and that's why they dictate the energy policy and every other policy in Europe. So you have to be in a position that how they cut you, you still have decision making. So to see what we can do, I hope you learn some things. And if you don't learn something, it means I'm not a good teacher. But if I got you to question your conduct and your soul, then we are at the beginning of the path. Make these reactors in a star formation, as I told you before, sitting there, and take enough for your soul that you're satisfied that doesn't need to do anything wrong. You are after energy in these reactors. If you make it correct, you can adjust your soul. Because it's the same strength as you. And if you have put the energy of the gas of your own blood into it, it carries your emotion. So I give you the correction method too. And I explain to you very easily how you do it with the stereo system. Did I tell you you put a stereo and you adjust it till you don't hear it? Your stereo sits here. The base of physicality with the emotion, you have to adjust it till you get it right in the position you want. I call it a soul adjuster, but if you understand what it means. Would you like a soul adjuster stereophonic? So this is what you got to go. As I said, I move the pitch one step higher till you see the totality. We still got a long way to go. You learned it, now it's for you to adjust it. Want to know how many of you will come in a few days or in a few months' time and will say the word, which means you are maturing. We don't say leave your jobs, leave your children, pay everything to the church, because there is no more church and mosques. The church is in your heart. Depends. What you give from here counts, not what you put in your hand in your pocket and put in the church. Can I give you my pocket? But I only accept souls. You're stingy. You should say yes. Why not? Let us see if we can make this communication. Are we still getting anything, or you're stuck?
Vince will be back in just a minute here. He's away from keyboard for a couple minutes.
Okay, no problem. So let's go back into the physical level in understanding partially part of the things which you need to be able to create life or equal to life, because part of the understanding you have is very simple. When you eat a vertical or a horizontal being, you take physicality. But knowingly, because it's a protein, you take his soul too. Because it's an amino acid. This is the holy writing. Even when you take your bread, you cut a flower, you pray for it. It means I give you a part of mine if you give me your physicality. I exchange part of my soul with part of your physicality. Then nobody lost. So when you eat, you have to make sure the soul of the entity is at peace with what is to give. And then if you find this, you'll find a very peaceful life. Caroline calls me Mr. Teflon because whatever you throw at me, it doesn't stick because I have no condition. I give unconditionally, but I give so much that the people think I've done something wrong that I'm giving so much. But they don't know it's just for them. So you have to start learning how to give. Don't go and give your clothes away, huh? And don't be the wife of the priest. You know the story of the priest? He went to the church and he stood on the top and he said, give everything. Today you go home, you give everything, everything to the poor, because then God give you more. And he went home and he said to the wife, you know that leg of lamb which so-and-so brought for us, can I have that? He says, you said to give everything. So I went and I gave it to the family down the road. He says, I said to them to give everything to me, not for me to give out to anybody. So it means don't be that way. So understand the structure. And part of the understanding the structure is respect for your soul. You can create dimensions. A lot of you, especially if you bought the, you build the, what do you call it, the star formation. If you know how to reset your star formation and position yourself in a specific position somewhere, you don't need aircraft carrier, you don't need a jumbo jet, you fly. You decide, you fly. Don't forget, your brain becomes the gravity and your wish becomes your magnetic field. You can adjust it. If you want to know how close you are to yourself, go like this and try to see how far you can feel your own fields, and find out how you can wish on the left to push the right away, and how you wish in the left and you attract the right to it. Then you understand how you can create the direction. Don't control it. Don't go, it goes that way. And don't go, because this way you find how to correct your emotion. And then how it is correct and what is not. And then when it comes to balance, you gradually find balance. You should be able to feel the heat of your hands somewhere here from each other, which is the boundary of your body. So you start from here and you make your wish. You can feel the heat. Go further. Become detached and become detached more till you can feel the heat. I can feel somewhere here, easy. So this way you extend your fields. When it's gravitational, you go very much. If you're very stingy and you're a thief, you have to have it here to feel it. Because it's so gravitational. You want to take everything from one from the other. It's a process of a biological change because you change your emotion, your soul, to become conversion to a matter state, which you feel as a heat. You confirm your own existence. My God, we met a bunch of rabbis now. You don't need to do it. So you understand yourself, you understand the structure. Any questions? And nothing about the rabbis. Or do you want to? We have to get this session going till we are expecting a communication, which is important. If they can get through, they tell us they're working in the background.
Yeah, Vince should be here shortly with that information.
Pardon?
Oh, there he is.
You're awake now. He woke up.
In a manner.
Is it connected or are we abandoning? Okay, you're still walking around it. Does he think they'll be... Are they there or are not there? Okay, we carry on till maybe, yeah, maybe that's the reason why they're not here, that we can change more. Are there any questions? Okay. Oh, strange. Very strange thing. Kevin Davina wasn't there yesterday to ask questions. He wants to know what happened. Yeah, it says because I had to leave at 5:30 p.m. What happened? They went to Mars. You missed the flight, Kevin. It says from Gasper. Mr. Cash, if you make a gang of banana, it's a gangs of banana, can we then use these gangs of banana to make more gangs of banana? So if we have some samples, we will have what we need to eat. Thank you. Yes, this is what I was explaining yesterday or on Friday. Once you make a gans of banana, it'll never run out. It's always a gans of banana. So you can get the energy of banana without a banana. If it's a bit, you have to excuse me, I'm going to disappear for a second. I've got to get something. We had to move things for Alex, so we have to put things back in. Once you made a magnet, it stays a magnet. Do you expect it to be any difference from the magnetic field of a banana? Banana is still a plasma. It's the energy which gives you what you expect from it. So once you make gans of a banana, it's always a banana. You receive the energy of a banana, or you can have the emotion of having the banana. So if this magnet is permanent, so is the plasma of a banana. This might give you a hint if you're looking to take your stakes with you into space. If you're still in this level. I saw somebody putting a picture with two pens on either side with elastic band. Somebody was showing me a couple of days ago to change. What about if you fill it up with all the things, everything you need around it? And today, if I get elastic and put all these pens which are in here, banana, steak, fish and chips, whatever you like, salt, vinegar. Today you don't want a fish and chip, you take the fish and chip out, you have everything else. This is what I explained yesterday in the discussions. If you make a cup and you make tubes of it. That's what we're discussing yesterday. So this is a banana, you put the banana gans in there, but you still have your orange, your water, your steak, and everything else. But because you transferred it through the physicality and emotion, you will taste the meat, you will have the feeling of the meat, and you receive the energy of the meat. But you're actually only chewing water, if you want to chew water. So this is exactly what we talked yesterday, making containers like this with the tubes internally. Then anything you like, strawberry flavored, it'll be all the flavors of all the drinks. We give you a steak, rare, medium rare, you take this out, you put that in. Because this is not a fairy tale, because you already have tested it. You know you can get a taste. You like a smoked salmon, put it up there, you have a smoked salmon, the taste and the flavor. Would we go in the restaurant in the future and they just give you a cup and they just change the cylinder, but we drink the same thing? Maybe. Any of you have tried alcohol to see if you get drunk with the water? Please don't do it tonight. Don't get drunk. Not on my account. Pardon? Yeah, you're drinking water, but it can create the strength of alcohol, which affects the combination of CH in your body, in your emotion. I've done it. I've told you. I've done it. It's been done in Belgium with water. I can make you drunk as anything. And I got a drunk, a woman this big. He wasn't a normal woman. 185 kilo of it. So, how did I make alcohol from the water? Very easy. How I put my magnets. Why did I need to make it drunk? Because When you're drunk, you let all your fears go. And the day she got the fears go, she lost all her weight. All her weight. Yeah, she went to 130 kilograms in 3 months. The skin was hanging there. The sister said she's got permanent skirt. You can make, would like a vodka, put a vodka on top of the water, put it next to it in the gans. When you made it, see, you have a drink with everything you want without touch. Well, would it make you drunk? Yes, it will. If you do it correctly, yes. Do we need to buy cocaine? The ones who are addicted to it. You buy one shot, you make the gans of it, you have it all the time. Where do you spend your money? The drug dealers go bankrupt. Now, anybody would like to make a cocaine or heroin bottle? Gans? Don't try it. But that's how you break the back of the cartels. I have it whenever I want. Why should I go and spend 20 euro per shot? There we go. We destroyed the drug industry. Now we draw it. I did this years ago without anybody knowing. I'll tell you what happened. If you lived in England, you know, suddenly about some years ago, British government decided to change all the 20-pound notes. Nobody knew. It was a decision with central government in the background. We were part of the internal government. We knew what's happening because I work with the British government very closely in drug trafficking operation. And so we got to know what was going on. So what happened, the British government decided in the background very rapidly to change 20-pound notes. Nobody realized you could not get, there was all new 20-pound notes. The reason was that most of the bank clerks were going sick and they could not stop it. What happened? The drug habit in England is so heavy, and 20-pound note was a common note to change quick. You don't go and count the traffic around 120. You give it 20, you get a shot. And all the drug money was handled in the 20-pound notes. And the bank officers, which they were counting the money, like me poisoning myself with arsenic, with the, what's called arsenic with John, every time I wrote a paper for you lot to teach you. So the staff were always sick. When they did analysis, why every bank getting so many time off cashiers, they found that the 20-pound notes were laced with cocaine. So they cleaned up. And now, on a regular basis, 20-pound notes in England get rotated to check the drugs out. So if you can do it by touching, don't forget, a lot of sniffing is done with the 20-pound note. You sniff it this time, next time you pay to the man to surprise you.
They tested that in
the psychology of drug trafficking in England, how to solve this problem.
That's true. They tested it in the United States. It was 98% of the bills had at least a trace of cocaine in them.
Yeah. So now you can buy all your cocaine free by one shot. Actually, nowadays you can go, would you like a grams of cocaine? Very cheap. But make sure you get a pure one, you don't kill yourself.
Books.
He says before, everybody used to keep books, now they keep blocks of cans. So now, if you're a habitual drug smoker, I made it free, but be careful, you can kill yourself too with it. Yeah. So very, very careful what you do with these things. Remember the story of the president of Nigeria. He's here. Alex is here, he can tell you. One of the last presidents of Nigeria died. And some of us die a happy life, but this guy died being with 3 Russian prostitutes. And the prostitutes ran out of the palace bedroom. The president is dead. The wife, when they checked it scientifically, because when you die as a leader of a government, president, prime ministers, there have to be 2 or 3 independent doctors certifying death certificate. If it's poison, it's done, whatever they can do to the. And the president died because of taking 3 Viagras. He thought 1 Viagra for each prostitute would be good. So what happened? The heart collapsed because there was no blood in the heart, because all the blood went in the wrong place, or in the right place, but in the wrong place. So the president of Nigeria died, and do you know what his wife claimed? The international doctor's certificate is wrong. His Viagra was poisoned, laced with poison. You get it? The Viagra was laced with the poison. Yeah.
YouTube. The other officials are having power issues, but we do have the consultant to the Public Regulatory Commission
Bring
in
him on.
here.
We carry
Yes.
on. Okay. Is he online?
Yes. So his name is also
I tell
Samuel.
you,
So
we want to start.
yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mute everybody. That will include yourself. So just give me a moment. And
No, don't mute me.
and then we will unmute Samuel, and hopefully he can introduce himself and ask questions. And I will also unmute Alex. So if Alex is able to.
No. Let me tell you.
No?
Don't
Okay.
unmute me and don't unmute Samuel. The only 2 stay online. Okay?
Yes, just Samuel is. There's another Samuel, and that's the
Yes,
commissioner. Okay.
I know. I spoke with him last night.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. So if you put Samuel and me online, then we can carry on. You can mute everybody else.
No problem. Okay, so just a moment, everybody, while I mute everybody.
Okay.
So, Mr. Keshe, you're unmuted. Can you speak and make sure?
Yes.
Okay, and I've also unmuted Samuel. Can you hear me, Samuel?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Yes. Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Keshe Foundation Space Institute. Would you like to introduce yourself, who you are, and what capacity, please?
Yeah. I'm Samuel Kowansan, electrical engineer by profession. I work for thermal power generation for over 16 years. I'm currently a consultant to Public Utility Regulatory Commission of Ghana, provide a technical service with regard to thermal energy generation.
Thank you very much for your coming. Let me just give a brief background to our listeners and our students. As we said to you, through another Samuel, which came through the Hanky of United States, we were introduced and positioned to speak to Ghana Space Institute, and through it to Ghana Energy. In Ghana, there is a problem with energy. And so as you see, the number of people who are supposed to be today, they are not there, 5 more people, because of the lack of energy in the country. The power is not there to bring online. We have offered this technology, which is the production of energy free from fuel in a plasma condition to Ghanaian government free of charge. Means the technology will be transferred fully to them, that Ghana can reproduce energy for the nationals freely. So in time to come, the knowledge seekers, one by one, will give a hand to the Ghanaian students or scientists to build the systems for the nation, that we can come out of this energy crisis. Ghana is one of the first nations which is taking the situation up. So what would you like to see, and what would you like us to show you, Samuel?
Yeah, I just want to understand the basis to the extent that, well, I can really even build one myself.
What we have done, let us explain it in a simple way, is that, have you got a picture? Can you see the
I can see the picture. I can see the picture. Yep.
picture? What happened up to now? We have, let's say, copper in the matter state.
Okay.
We have learned an easy way to produce nanomaterial of it, which means freeing the atomic structure to single atom structure, which when you do it becomes black.
Okay.
And then we have learned how to release this free atom of the copper into a plasma, which is this.
Okay.
So now you have a plasma. Each plasma is in the shape of a sun. It's a plasma, it's a sun. Sun is a plasma. So it releases this energy. So what we've done in the process is that we have built a spherical like earth material, what we call reactors. We put these gases into these reactors and we release the energy in a formation that when we put them in a formation, these are motors. You can see it here. Excuse me, cameraman. You can see it. There are individual cores. This is like a shape of the earth with the gas, the green material inside it. That
Okay.
releases the energy of the plasma slowly in the environment. So what we do, we put 3 of them in the base, as you see here, that they release the energy. We put the 4th one to contain it, and then these 4 systems release the energy very slowly in the Can you hear us? Yeah, the energy of the battery run out. Soon we'll release batteries which last 20 years, not 2 hours. So yeah, it's already done. Sohail tells me by this Friday we'll receive it, we'll show it. So what happened? We release the energy of the matter into a plasma form in the environment. Okay. And then we have built a system where it is done by, actually what you see is done by a Nigerian man himself. Pardon? Yeah, this is the beads. We call it the beads, made by a Nigerian. Using technology which we show, we put the gases which are in here in different form or shape of package here. That they absorb the energy from the environment back itself. The system is locked in a way, very simple way, back into the main grid. What we done, we started last Thursday. You have to notice we are running 4 reactors here. We are running a reactor at the bottom. We are running all the light system. We are running a scale. And we're running 2 fans. You don't see them in the background, but we're running 2 fans, cooling fans in the background. All energy from this panel, from this what do you call it, power supply. And what we've done, we have connected this power supply, which is here. That's where usually you plug it into the main. We have plugged it into the main, where we, by collecting the energy from the environment, we used 2 kilowatt 0.4 since last Thursday from the grid. We have taken from the grid 2.4 kilowatts. This is a meter here. Then if you look on the up, we have put from the energy of the plasma, which is collected through the beads, 12 kilowatt back into the system. So we have put back in the system 6 times more from the energy released by the plasma than what we have taken. If you connect this system to a, let's say, a house where you have a fridge, freezer, television, or whatever, as your fuel consumption goes higher, you create more energy, you absorb more energy from the plasma. Because the habit of the plasma is, as you take more from it, it opens up and it releases more. It's like a clock winding, you know, the old clocks, which you used to turn. As it opens up, it releases its energy. It's the same as the plasma. So what we've done in 4 days, with literally 2 fans using and everything energy, we have put 10 kilowatts into the Italian grid. So if you have, or you can produce, let's say a house which uses 1,000 kilowatts or 10,000 kilowatts, or to an industry, and you connect it directly the same system, the whole thing costs less than maybe $50.
Okay.
You can put thousands of kilowatts back into the grid in Ghana without spending a fortune. And in a way, you can do it if you have the scientists. We can teach you. We can put all number of our people online to teach you scientists. By tonight, you can start feeding energy into Ghana central grid at no cost, and is permanent. This system will last 30, 40, 50 years.
Okay.
So at no cost, Ghana becomes self-sufficient. And the problem which we have today, like most of the head of the energy of the Ghana, which was supposed to be online, and all your senior management would have been online with us without the shortage of costs.
Okay.
So it costs very little. All it needs, if you look at it, it needs aluminum foil. It needs a little bit of copper you can take out of any old car or the wall. You can produce the material, and and some tissue paper. This is controlling the gas through the tissue paper, that you hold it moist, that the plasma can move, and collecting energy from the environment. So if you do the process in matter of, let's say, we are prepared in the Keshe Foundation to go out and develop and deliver some of these units to you very rapidly, that
Yes.
can start feeding the national grid. And the shortage, or if your people, you're highly intelligent people, scientists in Ghana, I know a lot of them, good friends of mine from old time, you have all the knowledge in Ghana to pull yourself out within a matter of a month or 2.
Okay.
Like 3 units to the people in the house to use, and you tell them the more you use, the more we pay you. In a way, you don't need to pay for energy anymore, and it becomes a free source. We are doing it. There are 2 houses in London which was run this way, and if you look on the left-hand side, you see a bike. This is an electric bike that in London, the test is done. You can add the same system to your dashboard and connect it through the cigarette lighter of the dashboard and energize the engine without burning any fuel. So the import of the fuel into the country becomes 0, because the starter motor becomes the rotation of create the rotation pressure on the motor on the engine to drive, even though the engine runs. So in one move, with a cost of less than maybe a few dollars, you can solve the energy problem in Ghana and your vehicle problem with the fuel, that people don't need to pay so much money to be able to be mobile. That's how simple it is.
Yeah. Well, currently I'm running a diesel generator just to keep my laptop powered. So it will be a work. Currently,
yes, let me explain to you, Samuel. I worked and lived in a business life in Gambia, in Freetown, and I've lived in Kinshasa, in Congo. And this is the problem we always had. having a generator that we could guarantee our own. Even then, we had a problem with the fuel cost of running the generator. So I know your problem. I've been there. So what we can do, when you have a different time, you can show this video online. We put it online for you. We give you the link to explain to the management of the Ghana Ministry and Energy Company that we are prepared to not only teach you, we're prepared to support you initially with some units which we'll make in Europe to do, but I'm sure your scientists can do this themselves in a matter of hours.
Mr. Keshe,
Yes?
can this, I'm sure they're going to probably ask this, so I want to make sure it's live and recorded. Can this system be scaled up to be able to hook up to the main grid of Ghana?
Yes. Yes, it can be done. But that way you run into the problem of feeding national grid. This way you make everything localized. You don't need to spend a fortune to make transmission lines. You do connection locally. The life of the major cost of any power station is transmitting the power from point of creation to the point of need. This way you don't need the transmission lines. Every local area can produce. You just give a unit to a house, and the house will supply 10 houses around it from using it. And the more they use the whole local area, the more energy they have, because they absorb more from the plasma. And this on its own will create huge number of jobs in Ghana immediately. In a way, Ghana becomes more plasma industry in advance in plasma than even the United States, because you can change the course for your people immediately. This is not something that you're going to do it in 6 months time, in a year time. Go back, if you can please, Vince, send Samuel the link of the Thursday and Friday when Alex explained how to make the system in a very simple way. And the toolkit.
Sorry, I just want to make sure that he can hear me right now, and it's also recorded in this broadcast, that you can go on to the Keshe Foundation and the .org, and right there is a link to the broadcast that you can go to the broadcast page and see all the past recordings that we've done on YouTube.
I think we have to direct them which one. They need to know the CO2 kit, how they make the gas themselves, and the teaching of last Thursday how to make the beads. I'm sure the scientists in Ghana can replicate this within a matter of a day or two. All our knowledge seekers in the background are prepared to support you. We can put 24 hours a day at your disposal to teach your scientists that once they make the first one, they can teach the rest. And then we can take it a step further and see what we can do.
Okay, I hear you.
What is, as a senior advisor to the government, what's your advice to the energy? Are we going ahead with you, or you're going to think about it?
You see, the issue have been fuel. But there are thermal plants which sometimes are shut down because they don't have gas or crude oil. Well, my understanding was more of using solar in air, because you have a lot of radiation energy in Ghana. But when I saw this plasma, it's really even better than I prefer this to the solar.
What you mean?
He's been looking into solar, because solar's been good in Ghana because of the amount of sunshine there. And he said that once he's seen the plasma technology, though, that it looked a lot better than the solar technology that he was looking into before.
The PV's panels technology.
So can we collaborate to bring this into Ghana rapidly to the public?
Yeah, that is it. That is what I'm looking at. But a week ago, I toured the northern part of Ghana. Looking at a place to put more solar PV panels and the CIS models. But this one looks more interesting and it's cheaper to produce. So I'm really going for this.
Thank you very much indeed. Can we talk later on this evening with?
Yeah, that is what we have to do. That is what we have to do.
Yeah, if we talk afterwards in the evening, we can organize all the teachings and all the support for the government.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. Thank you. We'll talk later.
Okay.
Thank you indeed. I know you got a problem with the energy there. If you could have the officials from the Ghana Central, the director and the rest of the people who are influential in decision making this evening, a time you appoint after 7 o'clock.
Okay.
Thank
You
you
see,
very much.
getting those guys is very, very difficult. But the whole thing is, once I understand it more, I can easily pass it on to them. Getting them
No
sometimes,
problem.
because most of them were complaining they have the meetings, official meetings, all kind of things. But
Yes.
once I have the idea, I can pass it on to them.
Yeah, but the thing is, the most important point is that you have to show them the meter, because the system is not theoretical. It's practically here, and it's been live on the internet more or less on and off since Thursday lunchtime. And we can discuss it in detail, how you want to do it. But if you could ask your directors of the power supply company to look at the video and see this apparatus, it literally costs very little to put it up. You can do it with a coconut, what you call it, shell. You don't need to have complicated reactors.
Okay.
You can use everything locally to create the power immediately within a matter of days.
Okay.
Thank you very much. We speak
Okay.
after 7 o'clock. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, I know. That's why I asked for 7 o'clock. Yeah. Thank you very much for your time. That's why now you understand how the people who came here for the opening of the Keshe Foundation Institute, Colonel Hankey of the American structure, governmental structure, military, has, through their connection, have set up all these things which are coming from different governments. We're getting help from the Americans to help the Africans in a very direct way. This is thanks to Brad, who's done a lot of work in the background. He's not sitting and enjoying the sunshine in Turkey alone. There's a lot of efforts that's going in the background. We're getting support from different organizations in America to bring this technology at least into Africa and other part of the world very rapidly. So thank you very much to Brad, to Colin Hankey, to Mike Harris, and the Ghanaian Energy Government Organization. Within a matter of days, we will see the first units in Ghana running, because I'll make sure Armand will not sleep. Same will be with Alex, because Alex is from Africa. They understand each other. He can teach them. They walk it through. And we'll see Ghana will become one of the first energy sufficient organization countries out of his own back, with no fuel, with no oil, and with no power station. So we might have another news for you tonight. Would like to say it, or we wait? Let's talk first. We have another thing which is happening. We talk later. In next few days, we will have the government of Sierra Leone with us. And in the coming days, hopefully, we will have officials from the Iranian government online with us to support the energy industry. So now we open the door. You have a system. You bear the noise in the classroom. The rest of the world, especially energy people, understand 10 kilowatt is not a joke to make out of free space. They understand 10 kilowatt, 100 kilowatt, 1,000 kilowatt means a lot when you can put more and more into the power. So Ghana, through the contact of what we had here with the Ghanaian Space Institute, now we go to the next phase of the space program with the Ghanese. And I said to you, we'll start from where the need is, because they want to have it, are very fussy because they have to get. The one they don't have it, they want to support their nation. And you find out hopefully by next Monday, we'll have the first units running in Ghana. We make sure that when the first one is done, the rest we teach them, they can do it internally to create jobs. The same for the cars and the bikes and the rest. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you very much, Samuel. There are two Samuels. There's another Samuel in the background who's the official organizers. Okay, can we go for a break for lunch? So, hello?
Okay, Mr. Keshe?
Yes, no problem.
And when I do that, I have to unmute you again too. So that's why it takes just a moment. Okay, you're back, ready again.
So last week we saw the start of collaboration with the space group, John Cyril. This week we see with the government of Ghana. And very soon we'll see others who understand this is here for benefit of mankind, not for Keshe Foundation. As I said to the gentleman last week when I wasn't here, we can take the name of the foundation off. It's irrelevant. If we can serve the humanity, that's what it counts. And today we start serving humanity. Because if you lived in Africa, you know how bad it is without no light, without no energy. Why people get sick so much? Because if you have a fridge at home and the electricity is not there, you work on a power generator to support the fridge that you can keep food at least in the house, and then you don't have the money to pay to run the generator, then you understand the refrigerator is no good. But the beauty of it is now that, as we were discussing before with Alex as well, if you understand it, if we can add these loops to number of generators in town where they are, you can see how much the generator will create to power the whole city. The generator itself becomes a supplier of free energy into the whole community, because to do it in a house, you can do 2-3 kilowatts, but the generators are key for high power transmission. So we use the local generators to produce electricity. If some of you don't know what these generators is, because I shipped a number of them into Africa for our operations years ago, some of them fit into a 20-foot container. They're huge. We used to have in the hotel part, literally, we buy the container, we keep it in there locked, and we just run it because we want to guarantee the clients have their power supply. And it costs a lot of money to run them. Fuel is expensive in Africa. It's not always the same. You get a different mixture in it. The problems are untold. So with a little help with this from an African man like Alex, will help the rest of Africa. Thank you very much for today. And we'll see what the Chinese will bring us at 1:30. Can we delay the Chinese by 2 o'clock?
I believe it's the Spanish today, actually.
Oh, with the Spanish, we can always negotiate. There's no problem.
And
We
yeah,
don't let them
it'll be tentatively at 2 if they show up in time.
we go for lunch and come back at 2:30.
Yeah, I think we can arrange that with them. I think they'll be okay with that.
We start at 2:30.
That actually might be good, because then we can get them in half an hour early and make sure everybody shows up.
There you go.
Okay, no problem. Thank you very much indeed. We'll see you in about an hour.
Okay, great.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, that's the end of. Let me get my live stream going here. That's the end of the morning session for Tuesday, July 7th, 2015. And it's an extension of the special 68th Knowledge Seekers Workshop. And this afternoon we'll have the Spanish workshop, the health workshop, and the kids workshop. starting at around 2:30.
And Rick,
Yeah.
hello, testing. Okay. Just wanted to let people know that I think this time we'll broadcast on YouTube as well, so they can check the YouTube channel for the live streams that I'll make up, and so we'll just broadcast to both places at the same time. If that's okay.
Perfect.
Okay. Fantastic.
All right. Thanks, Vince. Thanks, everybody. And we'll see you later on this afternoon.